Okay, let's talk about how to get industry averages from the Capsim courier so that you can compare your company's performance to the average of all the other competitors in the industry. What I did here is you go to industry results and then you go to reports in your dashboard area. And then what you do is go to Capstone courier and then go to your most recent round. This is the most recent round that I have. Don't go to download, go to view. It copies better. And then after it pops up, even though you can't see it very well, highlight everything from return on sales all the way down to the blast ratio, and then right click and go copy. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to paste this into a little spreadsheet where you have the ratio and then all of the companies, including yours, listed across the top. So go into this cell right under ratio at top left of your little table area, right click and go to paste. And what that does, now highlight the top here and then double click. Okay, that will give you all of the data for your particular industry. Then what I would do is I would take your company, in this case I'm using Baldwin, and I would cut that, not copy it, but cut, and then put it right here and paste that right in there. Whoops. I'm going to undo that and I'm going to paste it right here. There. And then the other thing I would do is I would take all of these ratios and I would not cut but copy and put all of those right here. And of course display everything properly as well. Okay, I'm going to move these over a little bit. I actually did that wrong. I'm going to put it right there. Paste. I'm going to put the ratio right there. Okay, so the question is, how do you do these columns right here? Well, to get the industry average, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this column F. And I want to see the average of all my competitors, and then I want to compare mine to it. And so I'm going to go average, and then I'm going to highlight all of these figures right here. And that gives me that. And then I'm going to copy this all the way down. The only issue is that some of these items are not percentages, they are actual numbers. So I am going to just format those as numbers here if they are in fact numbers. See every one of these? Number. These are going to be, okay, these are formatted as percents, but they're actually dollars. So I'm going to make those dollars. I'm going to get rid of the pennies. And then these are percentages, so they're okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to, I probably should make these look nice as well. They should just be the same size as these guys. What are these? 11? And these are 8. So I'm going to change this to an 11-point font. And then I'm going to calculate a variance. I'm going to make sure this is also an 11-point. This is an Arial. Make sure it's all the same font, okay? So something like this. Probably because APA Times New Roman would be best. And this should be Times New Roman as well. In fact, I could use the format painter. Click on return on sales and then format everything like that. And make sure everything is in a 12-point font. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to calculate the variance and whether it's favorable or unfavorable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, and I'm going to subtract it from the industry average. And that's what it's going to show. And I'm going to copy this all the way down. And make sure again everything is formatted the way it's supposed to. That's a number. This is a number. And I think the rest of it's okay. These are a little off center here, so I'm going to use the format painter since I don't know what's doing it. And this here, I'm going to use the format painter and do that as well. And this one, these columns right here, I'm going to use the format painter here. Take all that so it looks nice as well. Then I'm going to go across the top and get all these figures. Some of these don't look right because these are formatted as percents and they should be dollars. So I'm going to make those dollars. Get rid of the, okay. And there you go. And then I have to make a judgment as to whether these are favorable or unfavorable variances. Okay, so and you go through, basically if it's negative, it's unfavorable. The only real one is here, leverage. This one, generally you want your leverage to be below 2. So, there's this bald one is a little more highly leveraged than the industry average, but it's not a big deal. So I would just put NA for that one. But all the others, if they're negative, I would, or positive, then I would, this is favorable. Return on assets is slightly better, favorable. Return on equity is favorable. Okay, go through. That's not applicable there. Okay, this is unfavorable, 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 and unfavorable. And the way to handle this is, if you come out with an unfavorable, a lot of unfavorables, then you talk about what your plan is to fix them, why it's temporary if it is, and what you're going to do in order to improve it. Okay, and then make this whole table look a little attractive. You want to, maybe format it all so to get rid of these random cell outlines. I'm going to use the format painter again. Go like this. Whoops. Go in there and just try to get rid of all of these outlining and everything. Normally if I go here, maybe go to format painter. There we go. Go here, take the format painter, do all this. Okay, now fix this by making it bold, putting it back to Times New Roman. Click on format painter, drag all the way down here, and then make it look pretty. Put a title on it, Team Baldwin, or Team Baldwin comparative industry ratio analysis. And then take that and format it properly as well. Again, I would probably use that. Use the format painter, go like that, and then highlight it, merge and center. And then I would take a screenshot of this, and I would put the key ratios that I want everybody to see here without, if you want to give them all, that's fine, but highlight a few that you think might be most important for investigators to look at. And I don't want to tell you everything, but generally cumulative, profit is good, or contribution margin is very important, right? So you might want to highlight that, right click, go to the format shape, go to fill and have no fill, and go to line and make it a fatter line by affecting its width, and then using a color that matches the theme of your presentation. And then this will show the things that you want to point out. One thing I would have liked to have seen in here was just your net income as a percent of sales. I mean, as a ratio, a percentage. To me, that's missing, and that belongs in there. So contribution margin, I would probably put your net income ratio here, where you calculate it from the data given. It would just be a matter of taking this profits and dividing it into that. So if I had net income ratio, I would have profits, which I assume are the net income, divided by the sales, and put that across. And then I would also format it properly, and I like the format painter. However, this needs to be formatted more like a percentage. So I go like this and go all the way across, and this would show that net income ratio. That formula doesn't seem to be working. It would be equal to that minus that, which is another unfavorable variance. But again, accentuate the positive, and also talk about your plan and as to why you're going to fix this. And that's how I would present my ratio analysis, but in the presentation I would probably only have maybe 3 or 4 of these, maybe 3 that I would focus in on the most. People will just look at the other ones. Make sure everything is attractive in terms of how it's laid out. For example, that doesn't look quite right, but make sure that you format it so it's attractive in your presentation. And with that, you should have a good ratio analysis. Thank you.